you're in deep space with us, let's open our minds and listen and move and dance and sing to everything we hear on this trip.
People always say like there's this kind of deep, dubby feel to my music, which I guess is true because I like deep music in general. You know, I'm always like looking for something which is not just like bassy, but also like deep in an emotional sense. Music always is kind of autobiographical also. You connect the sound to places you've been to or with people you work with. I think that's a nice thing that adds an element to your music which can be heard and felt also. That's why I like to go to places to collect sound and visit friends in their studios and just record whatever they have around. Take that back home, manipulate it, slice it up, cut it up, pitch it, whatever. This song is actually a good example of how I work because it has a lot of micro editing going on, there's a lot of audio snippets, and it features some of the recording we did in the studio the other day. Alright, so I zoomed in a bit to show you this recording which I did on the Jupiter. This is how it sounded originally. I'll just play back what I did. I just played chords. Then I pitched them up a notch. And then I went into reversing it actually and started cutting it up. This first segment right here are these three notes transposed by three semitones. Then these following chords are pitched down -4. This particular one here, just this one edit, is transposed 8 semitones. And here also is a segment where I just cut things rhythmically different because it was this kind of odd groove to it which I liked. And then I proceeded like putting the kick drums on top. Oftentimes the groove of the beat I make is not just the drums, it's also like the relationship between the synth line, the bass line and the drums. If you listen to the bass drum on its own, it's not so amazing, but if you add the synth, it starts swinging a little bit. And then you start adding all these other elements. Then you will find it has a certain groove to it all of a sudden, which obviously it doesn't have if you just listen to the kick drum channel. This part is kind of like a breakdown part in the arrangement, and I used the ripped paper which I recorded in the studio the other day as a percussive element. And I can just show you the individual sounds. So I like, for example, how it falls onto the one here. This kind of sounds like a reversed sound, but it's just actually me tearing the paper and it's pitched down a little bit. So it's this thing like falling onto the one. So it's kind of like, you know, giving this kind of sound to it, which I like, which adds to the groove, obviously. I'm not dogmatic about only using found sounds or like self-created sounds. But I do layer them up, so here's a snare, like a snappy clap, and some live snare drum. As you can see, the live snare comes a bit later than the snappy clap. So it gives this kind of flam, you know, which you use to make this kind of groove interesting. My taste in music just tends to be towards things which are texturous, which are like breathing, you know. Sometimes I just sidechain a bit of like analog noise between the drums, so it's like like there's a pulse, like something breathing between the sounds. I just like that. Because it's a cut and paste process, and in general it's kind of loop-based music, electronic music in a way is always, you know, it's pattern-based. You need to give a certain diversity to it, you know, by changing small details, you know, and this can be done not just changing the chord, but just sound-wise. If you have like one pattern which is like 8 bars long, and you repeat it 4 times, you just want to make sure that on the 4th time of the repetition, something else is happening. For me, it's more like being playful with music. It's like sort of an extension of my childhood, you know, when I was playing with my like Star Wars starships, you know, like being lost in this world, like creating like stories of what's gonna happen. This is kind of what I'm doing in the music also. I'm just creating worlds for me to get lost in a way. That's some proper nerd stuff here.